Welcome to part 2 of our topic on algebraic manipulation. Let's pick up where we left off last time. Alright, this is question number 3. For non-zero real numbers x and y, given that x minus y is equal to xy, find the value of x over y plus y over x minus xy. Okay, so let us begin with this expression that we're trying to evaluate. We're given x over y plus y over x minus xy. Okay, so in this form, there's not a lot that we can tell. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and see if simplifying it or expressing it as a single fraction will help us. So since the denominators that we have right now are y and x, the least common denominator will be x times y. So that gives us x squared over xy plus y squared over xy minus x squared y squared over xy. And that combines into x squared plus y squared minus x squared y squared all over xy. Alright, now we turn to the given relation. We're given that x minus y is equal to x times y. Okay, now in the expression that we're trying to evaluate, notice that in the numerator we have x squared y squared and x squared and y squared, which clues us into, in this given expression, okay, we can make all of those terms appear by simply squaring this equation. So that will give us x squared minus 2xy plus y squared equals x squared y squared. And you notice if we simply move things around here, we can see that x squared plus y squared minus x squared y squared is equal to 2xy, right? So we can now simply replace the numerator in the expression we're trying to evaluate with 2xy. So now we have 2xy over xy, and the variables, they just end up canceling, and we have finally it's equal to 2. That's the value we are looking for. Right. And just a quick note, we are able to do this, cancel the variables, because we're told at the very beginning of the problem that x and y are non-zero. Moving on to question number 4, we have given 1 over x plus 1 over y equals 1/2, and 1 over x plus 1 plus 1 over y plus 1 equals 1/4. Find 1 over x plus 3 plus 1 over y plus 3. Alright. So again, we'll start with our first equation. And we're going to try and see what we can do by just playing around with the expression. So we're starting with 1 over x plus 1 over y equals 1/2. And I'm going to try and get rid of the denominators here. So the denominators are x, y, and 2, and we'll multiply everything by 2xy. And that will give us 2y plus 2x equals xy. I'm just going to rewrite it like this. That can be written as 2 times x plus y is equal to xy. Let's call that our equation 1. Alright. Now let's look at the second given equation. 1 over x plus 1 plus 1 over y plus 1 equals 1/4. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and get rid of all the denominators. This time by multiplying by 4 times x plus 1 times y plus 1. And that will give us 4 times y plus 1 plus 4 times x plus 1 equals x plus 1 times y plus 1. So okay, let's try and simplify things here first. So we have 4y plus 4 plus 4x plus 4 is equal to xy plus x plus y plus 1. Okay, so putting things together here, you notice the 4y and the 4x, we can put those together in this way. We can write it as 4 times x plus y, and then the 4 plus 4 becomes plus 8. And on the other side, I'm going to write this xy plus, I'm going to group these two terms together, x plus y plus 1. And I hope you're seeing what I'm trying to accomplish here. So remember, we just saw, as a result of our manipulation on the first equation, that xy is equal to 2 times x plus y. Okay? So let's see what happens now. We can replace xy here in the result of our second equation, so that we have 4 times x plus y plus 8 equals 2 times x plus y plus x plus y plus 1. And now we have 4 times x plus y plus 8 equals, we can combine these two groups of x plus y, make it 3 times x plus y plus 1. Right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put these 4 times x plus y and 3 times x plus y together on the left side, which would give us 4 minus 3 times x plus y, which is just x plus y. And then on the right side, we move the 8 to the right, will give us 1 minus 8, which is negative 7. And now we have at least one value. We have x plus y equals negative 7, and let's call this our second result. So now let's turn our attention to the expression we're trying to evaluate. 1 over x plus 3 plus 1 over y plus 3. So we're trying to evaluate 1 over x plus 3 plus 1 over y plus 3. So to try and find the value of this expression, we're going to start by combining these two into one fraction. This will become y plus 3 plus x plus 3 all over xy plus 3x plus 3y plus 9. Now let's write this as x plus y plus 6 over xy plus 3 times x plus y plus 9. Now remember, we already have a couple of results that we got from the manipulation of the first two equations. We had x plus y is equal to negative 7. And we also have xy equals 2 times x plus y, which means xy is equal to 2 times negative 7. So xy equals negative 14. And now, evaluating the required expression is a simple matter of plugging in those values. That gives us negative 7 plus 6 over negative 14 plus 3 times negative 7 plus 9, which simplifies to 1 over 26, the required value. There you go. Question number 5. If x plus 1 over x equals 4, find x cubed plus 1 over x cubed. Okay. So we're going to start again with the expression we're trying to evaluate, x cubed plus 1 over x cubed. And we know this. These are two perfect cubes. Right? So recalling our special products, sum of two cubes, a cubed plus b cubed, is given by a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. Right, so using that pattern on the expression we're trying to solve, we get x plus 1 over x times x squared minus, the middle term is a times b, that's the product of the two terms in the binomial, which is x times 1 over x, which is just 1. So that middle term becomes minus 1, right? And then plus 1 over x squared. Okay, so we're making some progress here. We already know x plus 1 over x. That's given. Okay? So the question is now, how do we find this other thing, the trinomial factor? Well, going back to the given, we have x plus 1 over x equals 4. We've done something similar to this before, noticing that the first and last terms of the trinomial factor are squares, x squared and 1 over x squared. We're going to square the known equation. So squaring that gives us x squared plus, remember the middle term of the square of a binomial is twice the product of the terms in the binomial. So that means 2 times x times 1 over x, which is just 2. And then plus 1 over x squared equal to 4 squared, right side becomes 16. So moving the 2 to the other side, we have x squared plus 1 over x squared equals 16 minus 2, which is just 14. But in the trinomial factor that we are looking for, we have x squared minus 1 plus 1 over x squared. So to get that, we simply subtract 1. on both sides of this result. So now we have x squared minus 1 plus 1 over x squared equals 14 minus 1 or 13. And now we have all the values that we need. So x cubed plus 1 over x cubed is just x plus 1 over x is 4. X squared minus 1 plus 1 over x squared is 13. And 4 times 13 is just 52. There we go.